Folks, welcome back to another episode of the NYU GPH podcast. The Pathways into Quantitative Aging Research program is a summer program offered by the Department of Biostatistics at NYU GPH. It is engaged in 3 interrelated activities that aim to improve public health through rigorous research and that educate future practitioners, leaders, and researchers. Now, I can keep going on about this program, but rather than myself, we have Dr. Rebecca Betensky and Vardia Duterville. Dr. Betensky is the chair of the Biostatistics Department and the program director for the PQAR program that we'll be talking about. And Vardia is program coordinator for PQAR and the program administrator for Biostatistics. We're so glad to have you on the NYU GPH podcast. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So I'd love to get started. How did this program start? How did it come into existence to begin with?
Okay, I'll start with that. So the history goes back probably close to 30 years, actually. So I was formerly a faculty member in the Biostatistics Department at the Harvard School of Public Health. And I had a colleague there in biostatistics, Louise Ryan is her name. And she was really visionary at the time in that she saw that biostatistics was a field that was really lacking in diversity, and that was something that needed to be corrected. And so she was a pioneer, really, in that regard. And one way that she addressed it was by starting a summer program for undergraduates as what we called then a pipeline program. And the idea being to introduce undergraduates who have quantitative backgrounds, who have strong interests in quantitative areas, introducing them to biostatistics and quantitative public health as a career option. So she started a program at Harvard, as I said, about 30 years ago. I became involved. I eventually took over the program as director there. And when I moved to NYU 4.5 years ago, in 2018, one of the very, very first things that I did with my colleague Vardia was to apply to NIH for funding to start a similar but slightly different program at NYU. And so the program has been at NYU now for 2.5 years.
Wow. What does the program mean to and why should people be aware of this program? What's the power behind a program like this?
Well, I can jump in here. I would say, given what have all gone through for the last 2.5 years, a lot of undergraduate students, and I think in general, a lot of us are interested in public health. And summer programs like this exist throughout the country. And with our opportunity, we're allowing students to come to NYU and learn the quantitative side of public health, which is, as we know, very important to be able to go into spaces and discuss what's going on in research. And so with inviting students here to NYU, the New York City campus, for 6 weeks, they get a really intense immersion experience within public health, quantitative public health methods, and in general, what it looks like to enter a graduate program.
I'll jump in and add just one other piece to that is that one thing that we've discovered that I've discovered with colleagues in my many years working on this is that there are many, many undergraduates in small schools, perhaps historically Black universities and colleges, other minority-serving institutions who are very strong in math, but are not aware of possible career options other than a traditional PhD in math, which may be perfect for some people, but others maybe want to use their math skills and quantitative skills in other applications. And so that's what this program provides is an opportunity to learn about those other options.
Let's zoom out. I'm sure a lot of students, future students, or even people watching this are curious about biostatistics, the importance of biostatistics. And then I think we'll hop into the program after that. What is biostatistics? Public health to a lot of people means different things. Why is biostatistics important?
Okay, I'll take that. So biostatistics is, first of all, really no different from statistics as a discipline other than its application. So as far as statistics or biostatistics, both of them are disciplines that manage randomness and error. And so they provide a way of quantifying how much we know from data. So quantifying the randomness in some kind of an estimate from data, whether it's a pandemic-related estimate or an estimate about Alzheimer's disease, progression rates. It gives tools and methods for being able to make inferences from data. And so, as I said, biostatistics is really just the application of the theory and fundamentals of statistics to public health. It could be to medicine, to sciences. So that's what we mean by biostatistics.
Understood. Are there what are the kind of students y'all have noticed that thrive in the biostatistics environment with all the people that have come in your time of running this program or even in this department? What makes a student that thrives in biostatistics?
I would, with having currently reading applications and in general, having done this for 2 years, students who are strong in the quantitative fields, so like your traditional mathematics or statistics, we do have some students who have been able to experience other similar REU summer programs who, as Rebecca mentioned, may not have those opportunities at their home institutions, but they do have, say, a 6-week or similar 6-week program experience with data analysis or like coding R, Python, what are the other ones? Stata, SAS, just working with it either on their own, taking the initiative to work with it, or having done a summer program. So strong but quantitative, but over time we've seen more students outside of that as well.
Yeah, I would add, so students who are excited and love, math or computer science or data science, any of those fields. And it's not to say that they have to be a math major or a data science major. We've had psychology majors who have done a lot of statistics, through data analysis. We've had biology majors. So it's not about what you're majoring in. It's about what really excites you, what's fun. And then along with that, they should have an interest in health, whether it's public health or individual health, meaning more medicine. Either of those would be, sort of a natural fit for someone to go into biostatistics.
Another major that I've noticed is nursing.
Wow.
As well.
So where does the nursing angle come from, and how have you noticed it?
Similar to what Rebecca mentioned, I would say like the traditional medicines, or having the opportunity to have done a similar summer program, or just statistic course in their training.
Love it. So this is applying, right? Let's go to graduation. People that have a degree in biostatistics, where does life take them that y'all have noticed so far?
Biostatistics is a fantastic field to be in. This has been known for many, many years. Data science, which really is partly about statistics, is a booming field. So there are many, many job opportunities for people who have degrees in biostatistics. So they could be at pharmaceutical companies. We've had graduates who have worked at Pfizer, for example, among many other pharmaceutical companies. Biostatisticians can work at tech companies, Amazon, Google, Facebook. We actually every year have a career panel at which we invite master's level biostatisticians to come and speak to our students about their careers and how their education prepared them. And I'll put a plug for those. We have past year's videos on our website. Every year we've had a very different assortment of people. We even had someone from Major League Baseball one year. So there's really, many, many career options for people. And of course, the more, the ones that you would normally think of, Academic medical centers have large biostatistics departments that hire master's level biostatisticians, NGOs, many public health organizations, finance, lots of opportunities.
Imagine. So it's probably opening the minds of a lot of people that don't think of public health and biostatistics, which is very interesting even to me to hear that. I'd like to hear from the two of you about, let's go back to the program PQAR. What are the student stories that we have seen? What happened to a student when they came in? What did they get out of this program?
I think for me, it's always thinking about the experiences students have prior to coming to us. So considering the majors that they may have or the pathways that they've made to us, so to speak. So thinking to previous years, I can think of one of our students who was a political science major, and I never would have thought, say, that they had any quantitative or statistical experience, but that was something that they really had an interest in, even though they were in a humanity or traditional humanities field or whatnot. And I guess for me also as an African-American woman, as a Haitian-American, children of immigrants, speaking to students who may struggle with, say, imposter syndrome or like first generation trying to adjust to different spaces, PWIs, and being not a light, so to speak, but a recognizable face when they come to our program and they come to New York. And in general, I think all our students love coming to New York City because it's like, I'm in the Big Apple, I'm having a good time, it's summertime, and I'm in Washington Square Park, seeing it in the movies and actually being able to experiencing it here. Academically, I enjoy seeing the transformation of the shy student who may not even want to speak on a one-on-one basis, and seeing them at the end of our program, because we hold a symposium where students present their projects in a audience in front of their peers, whoever is around during the summer, and the confidence that they display in the information that they're relaying. And that's what this program is all about.
Beautiful. I mean, there's so many facets, right? It's not only biostatistics. There's their personality, how they view the world, what they believe in themselves as well, doing a program like this. Can you tell us more about the program? How long is it? What's the intensive of a program like this usually?
Sure. So, So our program is 6 weeks long. And I should say, I want to make sure to mention this, we fully fund every aspect of the program for the students. We pay their transportation to and from New York. We pay for housing in an NYU dorm for the 6 weeks. And we're able to give them a pretty generous stipend. This summer it will be $5,000 because we recognize that by participating in our program, they can't be doing something else and making money. So the day is packed, and I encourage all listeners to go to our website and click on our calendar from past summers, and you will see that of those 6 weeks, every single day is jam-packed with a variety of activities. We have courses, not for credit, just to learn, in biostatistics, in epidemiology, in statistical computing. And we have professional development sessions where students hear from admissions officers about applying to graduate school. Students can take GRE preparation, which we pay for if they're interested. The students meet with current graduate students, PhD students, master's students, postdocs. Students hear from faculty members about their own trajectories in the quantitative arena. And then the core of the program is the research project that students engage in with a faculty mentor and a graduate student mentor. Groups of 3 students work on each project. And so they're quite busy, but they get quite a lot out of it.
And another thing Rebecca didn't mention is the fact that we do social activities with them as well.
Wow.
We were graciously given funding from the Office of the Dean to be able to send students out to social activities throughout the city. So one of the things that I usually highlight when I go to conferences they got to go to Broadway shows. One, let me be explicit by saying that they got to go to a Broadway show completely for free. I think last year they went to Aladdin.
Nice.
And this year they get to choose themselves as a group. So it's really cool.
That's so. It's a lot of care and effort put into each student. So I know we went into this of what kind of a person should apply, but what do you look for when in students that are applying? Because there's so much that they're getting out of this. The work is put in, but what kind of student are we looking for?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's something that we get asked a lot. And I'm always very happy to tell students that, we don't have any strict criteria. We don't have a GPA cutoff. We don't have grade cutoffs. What we really do look at the whole picture. So we do look at courses that students have taken. We want to see some demonstrated interest in quantitative areas, but we don't have anything specific in mind. So we're not looking for a specific course. Maybe they've taken statistics, maybe they haven't. Maybe they've taken computer science, maybe they haven't. We also look for, probably the most important part of the application is the personal statement. We want to hear how the student articulates their interest in the program. We want to hear the passion in their voice, the real excitement for data, for statistics, for all of that. And that, so it's really the whole picture, that we put all those pieces together, we integrate it all, and that's how we make our decisions.
Are there any? So there's been, the program's been running for 3.5 years, or
we've had 2 summers so far. This coming summer will be our third summer.
This is at the time of the recording for whoever's watching this. How has this program evolved from the first year to now?
I'll let you take that. That's a good question.
Well, from the first year we were virtual, so that was fun.
Oh yes,
we were completely virtual. So when we first started, we submitted the grant as pipelines into quantitative aging research. Now we are pathways because we found that language is important. So being impeccable, being important in the way that we are creating a guideline into biostatistics rather than stopping where that is. That didn't go anywhere, but I know what I'm trying to say. So that is one change. The stipend increase is another one.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have an evaluator. So part of we should say that our program is expensive for us. And we are very fortunate to be funded by the National Institutes of Health, and in particular, the National Institute on Aging funds the program. And then, as Vardia mentioned, the Dean's Office also gives us some funding to cover those costs that are not allowable to be charged to the NIH. So part of our whole program is we have an evaluator. So we contract with an evaluator at the New York Academy of Medicine. So a seasoned and professional person with our group who does evaluation of programs. And they're very important to us because they meet with the students in person. They send the students surveys. So we are getting constant feedback. And we try to make real-time adjustments if we need to. If there's something that isn't working quite right, we make adjustments and during the course of the summer, but then certainly for the following summer. So one item in particular that we heard is that students really want to be hearing even more than we already were from faculty who look like them or who are similar to them in certain ways. And so for this summer, as we plan our upcoming program, we're paying even more attention to that. We always have paid attention to it. Now we're even putting more emphasis on that to make sure that we are doing that. So there's constant feedback and constant improvement.
So yeah, the increase in representation of people of color, also a adjustment as far as the courses. So students, that we didn't get a chance to delve into what exactly students are doing from day to day, but for 4 weeks during the summer, students are taking a intro to biostatistics course. they are simultaneously taking a course into Intro to Statistical Computing. We found that students were also interested in epidemiology. So in comparison to our first year, we increased the statistical computing course, and so the last 2 weeks of the summer program, they're taking Intro to Epidemiology. So getting the evaluations in real time, discussing it with students in our individual meetings that we may have with them during the week, that we definitely do have with them during the week, and then having our team of advisory board speak to us. We have a meeting at the end of the summer program, discuss what happens, if there's any issues, any positives that we've found, typically more positives than negatives, and taking their advice and applying it to the next upcoming year / cohort. And we also continue to support students throughout the academic year. So
I'm really impressed with this program. There's so much love, care, and attention put into it, and it's shaping leaders of the future from what I understand of how important this is. So let's leave us with this last question that I have for the two of you. What does biostatistics mean to each of you? If we can share that with what you'll run such an amazing program that influences this. So I'm curious, what is the importance of biostatistics to the two of you?
Well, sure. So biostatistics is my life, is my professional life. So I went into statistics after majoring in math as an undergraduate because I realized I didn't want to be entirely focused on theoretical math. I like the theory, and statistics is a great field in that you can do both the theory and you can also do work on applications, and you can work on anything in between. And there is a whole spectrum. And over the years, as a statistician, that's exactly what I've done. I've really worked, on the very applied side, on the more theoretical side, developing methods. And it's just great fun to me. And I love teaching it. And I love seeing, young people excited by it and helping them find the pathway that works for them.
Love it.
Okay, I'm going to steal Rebecca's answer and say same thing. It is my life. I've been here now at GPH within the office of the Department of Biostatistics for 4 years, February. Wow, timestamp. However, I would say coming from the humanities, there are some people who have a strange relationship with statistics or math or statistics, whatever that is. I actually was a math major when I first entered college. But statistics is everywhere, and we see it whether it's on the train, whether it's in the pamphlet, whether it's a general magazine, or if you're scrolling through Instagram, it's everywhere. And I think looking at how academics are able to put meaning behind numbers is fairly important, and especially with being able to interpret what's going on. And when you're looking at a issue that is continuously happening within a community or within an age group, there's somebody there that can interpret it so you don't feel so alone and confused.
I love it. Where can people find out more about the program, our PQAR?
Okay, so our department website, but I'll give the PQAR handle specifically, and I'm sure that you'll write it at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description.
So that's going to be www.publichealth.nyu.edu/pathways.
And for anybody who doesn't like to remember things, there is always Google. And if you Google NYU PQAR or NYU Biostatistics, make sure you're at the department. You will find us. And I will also lastly mention that we do have a Twitter handle, and follow us on Twitter. And
our department handle is NYU GPH Biostats. If you're Googling, make sure you do NYU GPH Biostats.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't want to Google or remember, we will put it all in the description. Thank you so much to the two of you for your time and sharing all the information about this program.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
See you in the next one, folks.